I would like to call to order the regular governing board meeting of the Jefferson Elementary School District for September 25th, 2019. May I please get members present?
Shaquille Ali.
Here.
Marie Brizuela.
Here.
Maybell Manio.
Here.
Manufo Leah Inga Anuai.
Here.
Here. Next to the Pledge of Allegiance, Dr. Joyner, could you lead us in the pledge today?
With allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next is governance team meeting guidelines. Governance team members will review the governance team meeting guidelines. Next is the approval of the agenda.
I'll move that we approve the agenda.
Second motion.
There's a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Next is 6A, communications, board member acknowledgement and commendations. I'll start on my left. Ms. Lagianaway.
Okay, I feel like I've been gone a while. I apologize for missing our last meeting. Unfortunately, I had a nice fender bender. Never been in an accident my whole life, so it was interesting. So these meetings are very important to me, so I apologize for missing. And I look forward to having a wonderful meeting this evening. We had a wonderful town hall that was convened yesterday by our state superintendent. I appreciate the conversations that are happening. I appreciate the feedback that we're getting from throughout the state. And I just want to encourage our district and our county to be engaged and be involved, because I know that the goal is to build an equity office, and that is something that we all work towards every single day. So we want to make sure that our voices are a part of that movement. But other than that, I appreciate seeing the sea of red and seeing all the work and hearing all the wonderful work that happens every day in our district. So it feels good to be here. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I actually wanted to take this time to acknowledge Stephanie Martinez, who's here. She and I, along with the Wellness Committee, met last week to create a new wellness policy for the district, and a lot of things came from that. I just wanted to commend her for her leadership, and she's also spearheading writing a grant for anti-violence with our schools as well, and I just wanted to take the time out to recognize her and her work. She's diligently working a lot to make our district better, and I wanted to make sure I acknowledge that, so thank you.
Okay, I don't have a lot of things to say either, sorry. I did go to a few of the schools to visit and share with Policy some of the things that we're able to donate to them for their dance program, and also for the new program that they started that's like having plays and stuff like that. Kids are really excited. It's during the day. It's a class, and they're getting really excited. I asked what they're going to do, and they said they're going to do something about the 80s. I don't know what was going on in the 80s, but we're sure going to find out and be treated with a great play. They do so much good work. So other than that, I don't really have a whole lot to say until we get to the agenda.
I just went to commend a couple events I attended. I attended the Back to School Night at TR Policy 2 weeks ago, as well as the Back to School Night potluck at Benjamin Franklin last week. And then me, Slagi Anaway, and Dr. Joyner and Superintendent Vidalis, we attended the first meeting of the San Mateo County School Board Association Equity Network. It's a first of 5, and I'm sure we'll learn a lot more, and we'll take a lot more back to the school district as well, too. So next is 6B, correspondence and superintendent comments.
Yes, thank you. I did want to just announce for those listening, and perhaps those in the room, next week at Fernando Rivera, next Thursday at 6 p.m., we're holding our annual Transition to High School Night. It's an opportunity for middle school and older elementary school parents to come and learn about some of the emotional challenges that transitioning to high school can bring, as well as some of the practical tips to support your students. So it's always a popular event. At the last meeting, I shared that we had several schools that were awarded a medal by the Coalition of Positive Behavior Intervention and Support. And I do have the breakdown of who got which medal, so I will share that now. The bronze medal, we have TRP, Susan B. Anthony, John F. Kennedy, and Garden Village. The silver medal awarded to Fernando Rivera and Franklin D. Roosevelt schools. And the gold medal awarded to Woodrow Wilson, Westlake, Margaret Pauline Brown, and Daniel Webster schools. And the platinum level medal, which I think is better than gold, is Thomas Edison. Yeah, so I just want to staff and their PBIS teams for putting this together and for continuing to support the implementation of a district-wide initiative that will support our students' behavior and help them feel like they can belong at our schools.
Thank you. Is there like a ceremony to recognize those schools?
They're going to do it at their conference, their annual conference sometime in November. But yeah.
So what was the bronze ones again?
Bronze schools were,
Just send it to us.
yes, I can send it to you. Yeah.
Next is item 6C, persons wishing to address the board. This portion of the agenda is available for any individual to comment on or address the board on any issue that is under the board's jurisdiction and not on the agenda. The maximum time allowed for any speaker is usually 2 minutes. Are there any speaker cards for this item? No. Okay. So moving along, next item is item 7A, consent agenda. The administration recommends approval of the starred items on the rest of tonight's agenda.
I motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
First and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That was unanimous. Next is item 7C, resolution number 19-09-25, week of the school administrator. The administration recommends adoption of resolution number 19-09-25, designating the week of October 13th to 19th as week of the school administrator. Mr. Vitalis, would you be able to speak on this item?
Yes, this is an annual week of recognizing the work and effort that our school administrators put into their schools and into their profession. And I don't know, they do this every fall, maybe to differentiate from the recognitions in the spring. But as soon as the board passes this resolution, we do communicate that out to the schools and the PTA groups.
Thank you. Any questions or comments by board members? If not, I will entertain a motion on this item.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 19-09-25, week of the school administrator for, October 13th through the 19th, 2019.
Second?
First and a second, may I please get a roll call?
Mr. Ali,
Aye.
Mrs. Brizuela,
Aye.
Ms. Manio,
Aye.
Ms. Leah Inga Anuai,
Aye.
and Mr. Koo.
Aye. That was unanimous. Next is item 7D, commensurate salary increase for certificated and classified management, other unrepresented certificated employees, and confidential classified employees. The administration recommends approval of a commensurate 3% salary increase to the salary schedules for unrepresented certificated, unrepresented classified, and confidential classified employees effective July 1st, 2019. A 0.09% salary equivalent adjustment for the group, same as AFT agreement, to further align segments of the management's salary schedule, and a reduction to the work year for 11-month employees by 2 days for principals, vice principals, deans, program coordinators, and program directors. Before I open discussion, I have a couple of speaker cards. First speaker is Megan Jennings.
Should have just let me do the motion.
Yeah, I know.
Good evening, board members, JESD employees, and community members. And thank you for being here tonight. My name is Megan Jennings, and I am the proud vice principal of Policeta Middle School. I stand here tonight on behalf of all unrepresented employees of Jefferson Elementary School District. This includes confidential classified employees, certificated management, classified management, psychologists, directors, assistant superintendents, principals, vice principals, deans, program directors, and program coordinators. I love being an educator. All of us up here are passionate about the importance of a quality education for all children. The commitment from this group and all JESD employees is nothing short of amazing, and our students are the beneficiaries. As an educator, we get to learn as much as we teach through interacting with students and community members from a range of different backgrounds. This truly is the greatest job in the world. I'd like to introduce my colleague and friend, Mr. Jared Burke, Vice Principal at FDR. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan, for your introduction, and thank you to the board members, Superintendent Vidales, assistant superintendents, community members, and fellow colleagues for allowing me to speak tonight. My name is Jared Burke. I come before you all to express the feelings of and provide a voice for the unrepresented members of Jefferson Elementary School District. I speak as a long-term member of this community, who was a teacher at Benjamin Franklin Middle School, an instructional coach, a dean at Thomas R. Policeta Middle School, and currently the vice principal of Franklin D. Roosevelt K-8 School. I also am the son of a former JESD principal. My roots and career are here. Furthermore, I'm fortunate enough to call Daly City my home. In our country, this is not the norm. Educators routinely live outside the community they serve. This is very true for my peers. Most travel many miles to work, consciously bypassing closer districts, sometimes those with higher salaries. They do this because of the inclusive nature of this community, and most importantly, because they want to impact it in the most positive ways. We do this by supporting our teachers, aides, office technicians, custodians, food service workers, and volunteers through love and dedication. We are there for our students who are down, families who need help. We are there for volleyball, basketball, track, and soccer games. We schedule, collaborate, and devise community events that run the gamut from fundraisers to adult education. We make home visits, chase animals off campus, and sometimes put ourselves in harm's way. We have hard conversations that promote equality, equity, and social justice. We have early mornings and late evenings. We do this all gladly with dedicated effort and usually without acknowledgement. As I said before, this comes from a place of love for our students and the community. However, after the last board meeting, we were all disheartened and shocked by the conversation and the decision that was made to withhold a raise to a few. We all felt hurt, angry, but most importantly, demoralized. My whole career has been here in JESD, and until now, I have never felt such underappreciation. We have stood by this district in the prosperous times and in those of hardship. When the teachers were required to take furlough days, without a thought or vote, we do so as well. When there was not enough money for staff development, professional development, we joined our colleagues to collaborate and develop it together. We give so much of ourselves, all we ask is for you all to show us that we are valued. In closing, I can affirm one thing as a representative of my colleagues. We will all be at work tomorrow, doggedly determined to provide the best education for our students. We do this because of our love for this community, and we strive to make it a better place for this generation and those yet to come. Thank you again for your time.
Next speaker is Bettina Martinez.
Good evening. My name is Bettina Martinez. I stand before you today as a principal of Ben Franklin. I'd like to share the fact that I'm very proud to be here and I'm very grateful to be here. This is my second year, but the things that I have seen within my first year validate the decision to pick Jefferson Elementary as my retirement district. I want to be able to say that I started off in education as a paraeducator. And like many of my colleagues in administration and management, I was a teacher, a vice principal, a teacher leader, and for 9 years a principal of a high school. And at this point in my career, I am grateful that I drive the hour and a half every single day to work with the people that you see behind me. On the first day, before I started working here, I was in an interview panel, one of many, in trying to select the place that I wanted to be my home. And what I knew when I walked out of that interview panel is that I had never been on an interview panel where, number one, every stakeholder in a school had been on that panel, from executive management to fellow principals and vice principals, office staff, as well as a maintenance employee. And all of the questions were extremely genuine and particular and thoughtful in their areas of what they wanted from the leader for that school. When I walked out of that interview panel, I knew that this was the district that I wanted to work in, because what was clearly displayed to me was the understanding that we're all educators, and in education, all of us need to work together to move forward. And I want to say to you today that that is the legacy that's been built in this school district, because it became visible to me on that day. As I came to the board meeting, my second indicator was I walked out of my first board meeting and calling other colleagues that were saying, Bettina, why did you do it? Why are you moving? Why do you want to be there? And I said I was at a board meeting where people were talking about the kids, their needs, the support, and the programs. And I've never been at a board meeting where just particularly those things were spoken about. Lastly, I wanted to be in a district where community was honored. And every day, even yesterday, I directed a parent and said, hey, I'll show you where the gym is because there's a volleyball game. And he turned around and looked at me and said, I'm an alumni in Ben Franklin. You don't need to show me where the gym is. And that happens to me every day. So I know that I picked the right district, and I know you'll continue doing the legacy work that I was able to see on the first day and see every day now. So thank you.
Next speaker is Nuala O'Sullivan Haley.
Thank you, Bettina. Good evening, everyone. 17 years ago, I came to this district as an enthusiastic classroom teacher. I was excited and very grateful to begin my educational career in a district that supported and helped me grow into the leader that I am today. I spent 15 years as a classroom teacher at Daniel Webster Elementary School and was given and accepted leadership opportunities that helped me support more students and families as a Bliss administrator at Thomas Elementary School, vice principal at Fernando Rivera Middle School, and currently as an administrator at Garden Village Elementary School. My now adult children were also educated by amazing and passionate teachers here at JESD. I could not have done this without the support and the encouragement of my fellow colleagues here beside me and around me. This district, along with its students, families, and employees, has a very special place in my heart. Even more so, I feel extremely proud to stand alongside and be part of this group tonight. We are a hardworking, dedicated, unified group of leaders who will continue to include and support all JESD employees through thick and thin times. On behalf of our students, I feel this message has been clearly conveyed by us all to you tonight. And I leave you with a quote from Helen Keller: "Alone we do so little, together we can do so much." Thank you for your time tonight, Board.
Thank you. Are there any other speaker cards on this item? Okay, if not, thank you so much. Okay, so I will now open the item for discussion among board members.
I move that we approve. Well, no one was saying anything,
Okay.
so.
Well, I would just like to say, I've been studying this a lot since the last meeting, and I had a lot of questions that I needed to ask, because some of the paperwork wasn't what I thought, didn't explain everything, but I did talk to Bernie about everything. The one thing I want to see us continue with this, to go on and to vote on it. The thing that I'm really hope that we can get over very quickly is I do not like the fact that we are having to think that next year we're going to have to do without some of the other positions. So I think we need to get together as a team and have some good discussion, and how are we going to get to where we can keep everybody helping our children? Because I just don't think that we should lose our music teacher, and I also don't think we should lose any other of the staff. I know they came up saying that we might not have our assistant principals, or, I don't want to see that happen. I want us to have everything that we need for our children. And if that means looking further for more money, we better do it, because we don't want to have to go through this anymore. And we need to really build this district to be even better than what it is. I'm very proud of the district, and I have a long-standing, I used to be an employee here. So I know what it's like to be having these hard times. So I just wanted to let you know that I thank Bernie for allowing me to ask the questions I needed to ask, give me the information, and he knows I do not want to see any other positions taking the money to save these jobs and then turn around and say, well, now we have to lay somebody else off. We have got to find money that's going to come in, and we have to work on that. So I hope everybody will come together when we do talk about it for the future, so that next year we're not going to be going through all this stuff again, okay? Because all of you are wonderful. All of you bring something to our district, and I've worked with some of you on some of your projects, and I think what we're doing is the best. But instead of paying someone else to come in and talk to our children, you guys are the ones that can do it, because you're doing it now. We want to keep you here. So I want to make sure that that is understood. And also the fact is that I just don't want to see us in a few months from now looking at what we have to cut. We shouldn't have to cut anything. We need to get the money and go and get it. And if that means we go to Sacramento more often, we do. Okay? And everybody's going to be on the ball for doing this. Okay? So, go ahead. Did you want to make the motion?
I guess, maybe first, any other comments or questions first before motion? No? Okay, if not.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I move that we approve the commensurate 3% salary increase to the salary schedules for unrepresented certificated, unrepresented classified, and confidential classified employees effective July 1st. Well, anyway.
I'll second the motion.
There's a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That was unanimous.
And I want to thank all of you that spoke, because it really meant a lot to hear you. It really did. Thank you.
If I could make a comment. I think it's wonderful that we see due diligence, but I want to commend everyone here this evening, because the reality is that there is a shortage of funding, and that's something that we continue to see. And I love that our board tonight was able to make a solid decision around the salaries that our administrators, our staff are deserving of. So that was demonstrated tonight, and I want to thank the board for doing that and handling that quickly, because this is something that we need to continue to highlight. And if there is funding issues, I think that that's a task that the board, as you have mentioned, needs to revisit with our superintendent.
Absolutely.
But when we come to decisions like this, I think it's really important that we continue to demonstrate leadership like we're doing right now, and making sure that this vote happens and happens quickly. Thank you all. Thank you all for all the work that you do.
Any other comments? Nope. Okay. Thank you so much for all that you guys do for us as well, too. Next item is item 7E, governing board stipend increase. The governing board will consider adjusting the governing board's monthly stipend with an increase of 2% from $267.85 to $273.21 per month effective July 1st, 2019. Ms. Fidelis.
Yeah, so the governing board is allowed to increase their stipend, and it's not a lot of money for sure. But I think what this represents, and I've spoken to some of you about this, is that being a governing board member can sometimes be expensive in certain months where you have to pay admission fees, to dinners and events like that. And the stipend helps to offset some of that. And we want to keep our governing board open and available to people of all backgrounds and all means. We don't want this to be an opportunity for people to serve and then feel like they can't go to any event or any dinner or anything like that. So it's very small, but it does help and it certainly does not compensate you for your time or effort, but it does make it a little easier to pay for that dinner with the PTA end-of-year event or mid-year event and those kinds of things. And that's where I would propose that we do the 2% increase to that, just so that we keep it at a level that someone who's not from great means can feel like serving on the board is not going to burn a hole in their pocket.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? If not, I will entertain a motion on this item.
Okay. I move that we approve the 2% increase to the monthly stipend for board members.
Second?
First and second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Moving along. Double check. Next item is item 12A, Board Policies, Administrative Regulations, May 2019 CSBA Board Policy Revisions, first reading. The board will review and revise Board Policies, Administrative Regulations from May 2019 CSBA Board Policy Revisions as stated in a first reading. Any comments, questions, or issues that we might have identified? If not, I will entertain a motion on the first reading.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Board Policy Administrative Regulations, May 2019 CSBA Board Policy Revisions for a first reading.
Second?
First and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That was unanimous. Next is 13. 13 is governance team member comments, reports, and board meeting reflections. I will start how I started, Ms. Yanaway.
Thank you for starting on the left. I have no other further comments. I appreciate the stipend increase. Thank you. As we know, we're not here for the stipend. This is one of the best jobs I have outside of being a mother. So I'm very, very, very grateful to sit in this seat. I don't think my husband will appreciate that I didn't mention being a wife, but I don't know if he's watching. But I'm very grateful to be able to serve. So when I'm not here, I could feel it. It's in my bones, and I know that that resonates in this room because we live and breathe this work. So I'm deeply honored and humbled to do this work. It's a noble job. It's a noble job, and I think I heard tonight where it said, I think the words were a lot of times, you're not acknowledged or recognized, but I know that that's not why we do this work. We do it because it comes from the heart. This is heart work. But what's more amazing about it is that we change lives and elevate people. That's what we're doing. And I know I've said this in the past, but these words will never change because we are pushing families forward and up. That is what we're doing collectively. So again, I'm honored and humbled to sit in this seat and serve in any way that I can with my colleagues to continue to move this work. So thank you and have a great rest of the week.
It's always so hard to go after you because I just feel like I'm just copying. But yeah, I share the same exact sentiment and feel very humbled and honored and proud to be here. I have a child in this district, so not only is this hard work, like you said, it's very personal for me as well. So a lot of the things that I, along with my fellow board members here, decide affect me personally and my family. So these decisions that we're here to make aren't always very easy. So we appreciate and are humbled by your presence here and letting us know exactly how you feel and what your needs are, because otherwise I wouldn't know it unless I talk to you one-on-one, and I don't see you all like that. So I definitely appreciate your presence here. And I wanted to thank also not only my fellow board members, I'm so happy and grateful for who they are and what they represent and each of the value that they bring to the table, but also our admin here as well. And I know that we all collectively work together and will continue to do so for our students. So thank you all.
Okay, so I get to follow those too. Okay, I just want to say, there's many of you that I have spoken before, maybe been to your classes, to your schools, and I want to say thank you for all that you do to contribute to our district, because you're all very, very important. And I just think we feel good about who's working with our children out there. And thank you for what you do. And other than that, invite us when you're doing something so we can come, because sometimes we find out too late that you had an event and we didn't get to go to it, because I really enjoy going and seeing what all the children are doing, because it's amazing when you see them. They're just amazing, the children. So please be sure to phone call or slip a note to us and let us know if something's happening at your school so that we can share with you and the parents at your school, because everybody is proud of what's going on. So for that, I want to say, and thank you for the board for us being able to work things out. I will ask that we start having some workshops so we can do even more and not wait till something that's on the agenda to be voting on it, so that we can look and be prepared and be able to really work with everyone. I want to see everybody here, and I want to see all of you happy. That's the most important thing. So please, continue what you're doing. You're doing a great job. And with that, that's pretty much all I can say right now. But thank you so much. And thank you to our union, because they always give me guidance. Thank you for all your guidance that you give to us. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Oh, wait, there was one more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
You guys went to that session for CSBA, right? Or I mean, the counties, the county?
Equity Network.
Okay, so will you be able to share with us what you've learned? We can take a little bit of time out.
We'll schedule it when they complete the 5 sessions so they can do the whole,
Okay.
because it's all builds on each other. So
Oh, okay.
as they complete the last session, we'll schedule an opportunity for reporting out.
One's in April.
Okay,
So-
so this way we can still feel like, what you have learned, and we can take some of that and maybe work it into our district. Okay? Thank you. Sorry.
Sorry.
Shoot, Michael.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. There's nothing left to say really, except for I'm really happy to hear the great news about how many of our schools are excelling in the area of positive behavior. That's something that's very dear to me, and I'm glad that Trustee Manio has had a chance now to see what we have here and who we have here to work on those types of issues, and keep up the great work.
And I guess I'm last. So I know that normally we reflect. So in here, we always focus on, I feel the report tonight, we talked about how we're going to focus on the best interests of our students, listen actively and communicate openly, listen to our remarks and keep them concise, work toward the future, learning from the past. And if I can add one more for tonight, we would do what's in the best interests of our Jefferson Elementary School District community and make sure that everyone part of it feels that they are here for the long haul and for our future success. Next is item 14, persons who address the board on closed session items. Are there any speaker cards on this item? No. Seeing none, we will then convene to closed session, and we will take a 5-minute recess before doing so. Thank you.
Shortest meeting